artists. So today we're going to be experimenting with watercolors. These are just some basic techniques to help you get started when you're doing your watercolors. So you're going to be getting, let's go for a ride here. There we go. So you're going to be getting this piece of paper, and all you're going to do is you're going to split it into split it into half and split it into half. I'm going to show you some techniques that you're going to be experimenting with. When you first get your watercolors, they might feel a little dry to you. They might be dry. So what you're going to need to do is I'm going to show you a technique called wet on dry. You're going to need your water cup and your paper towel and then your watercolor. I'm going to go ahead and get my brush wet, and I'm going to choose a color, and this is called wet on dry. So wet color on dry paper, wet color on dry paper. If your watercolor is completely dry or sticky, you will need to put just drops of water in there. It's going to be pretty bright. But with this technique, I can paint lines that are pretty controlled. I can get large bright areas. Notice I'm not dipping in there constantly, just when my watercolor gets kind of sticky. This is going to create a nice bright color. When I want to change colors, so you can change colors right now, you can wash out your brush completely, and then you're going to want to dip it into another color. My purple was already a little wet, and you can try a different color. This is wet watercolor on dry paper. If it gets really dark or sticky feeling and there's not enough water, your paper will actually dry sticky. But this way I can go right up to other colors so that they don't really blend together all that much. I just need to be very careful with my brush, but I can get these nice bright colors. I can also keep moving the watercolor out. And I'm just adding a little bit of water to get it to move out so I get these nice smooth lines. All right, a second technique. The second one is wet into wet, and this one you're going to want to wash out your brush completely, get it all nice. If you're not sure if there's color left, dry it on your paper towel. It'll tell you if there's still color. And you're actually going to put water directly on the paper, just like that. Just damp, not so wet that it's soaking. And you're going to go ahead and get a wet color. Let's do this wet color. And if it's feeling sticky or dry, you're going to want to add wet color into it. And you're just going to put the wet on. This technique works really well for large areas. Like if you're doing a grassy area or a giant big mountain, you want it all colors, right? If I want to blend colors into this, all I need to do is I just add some more water to my paper, right? Wet into wet. I get some wet, make it my blue here wet, and I'm just going to completely blend it in. I'm just going to put the blue right on top of the green. Blue right on top of the green. You can do this with any color. And it's getting kind of dry over here, so I'm going to add some more water. I can choose to do dry. That's another technique. All right. Number 3, I'm going to do a wash. I'm going to show you how to make bright colors lighter. Bright colors lighter. For this one, I'm going to do dry. I'm going to do wet into dry, and I'm going to start with this purple. And I'm going to make it super bright. I feel like I need a little bit more water to my purple violet color. So this is super bright of a color, okay? To make it lighter, now this is a bright wash. Now to make it a light wash, all I'm going to do is just keep adding water to it and spread it out. I'm not even dipping into my watercolor. I'm just going to spread it out to make it look like it's almost white. Just like that. Now I can do colors on top of colors too. When I go to add like a green in my 4th box, or whatever color you want, I can add colors right on top of it. So maybe I want now to add some cute little dots. I'm going to wash out my brush completely, And I'm going to want to choose another color. I think I might choose, oh, this purple looks kind of fun. And I might go ahead and put like dots right on top of it. When I go to blend colors, I can do a controlled amount like that, so that, and it will spread out a little bit because it is wet. I can wait till it dries completely. Like if I make a large flat surface, I can choose to wait till it dries and then add another color on top so it's more controlled. So I could do like lines or dots or whatever I want. When you are applying this and you're choosing what technique to use, I've started a little contour line drawing here, and you can choose to use these techniques. So if I'm doing grass and it's a large area, I'm going to want to use that wet on wet wash. So I get my paper wet, just like I had started over here, just right up to my Sharpie lines. And I'm going to go ahead and get my green, and I'm going to do wet on wet. If I want it lighter, I just add more water. If I like how bright it is, or I want to blend the colors together, I would just put it right on top. And I can just add water to get them to blend together completely. And I'm going to go ahead and do down here. Just like that. But what if I have something that is kind of small and I need a bright color and not just a light wash? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep my paper dry, and I'm going to add in just some wet watercolor onto my paper. I want to make sure that I'm controlling my brush so I'm not going outside the lines. What if that's not dark enough? I'm just going to add a little bit more. Just like that. That's a little bit on the basics of watercolor. I hope you have fun with this. Happy experimenting!